一个美丽的、漂亮的花园能不能给房产增值？这也许是很多花园业主所关心的一个问题。那对于这个问题呢，我们今天邀请到一位资深的房产经纪人，来自悉尼的 Mr. Brafford 先生，由他呢来跟我们聊一聊这个话题。首先，第一个呢，就是你主要服务在悉尼的哪个区域？比如说，你能不能简单介绍一下悉尼的这个北岸呐、西北和丘陵区？那这些区域呢有什么特点？
Yes, well, thank you and nice to meet you as well. So the areas that I work do cover those areas. So your North Shore, Lower North Shore, Upper North Shore, Northwest, and so the my office is based more in the Northwest, but I do cover all of those areas. The characteristics of those areas are so higher. There's a lot of higher end homes in those areas. We we do, our office does cover apartments, but I mainly specialize in higher end homes. And those homes obviously are on larger parcels of land. And so the area that I cover is probably from the 3 to 6 million and then the $6 to $10 million range. In those areas, there is homes that can go up from 10 to 15 and even up to $30 million, depending on which area, if you're getting closer to the water.
OK，那这个区域的主要买家是哪类人？他们在选房的时候通常注重哪些因素？
It's a good question. We do have a mix of buyers that are coming into the area. In the some areas, like in Epping and Eastwood and some of the lower North Shore and upper North Shore, there is an increase in Chinese buyers that may have been born here in Australia, but also still immigrating from China that are loving the newer properties that are being built and a lot of the high end properties as well. But there's also the sort of buyers that are mainly attracted to the schools. There is the high level of education based buyers that are wanting the good public schools and good private schools, and those areas do have those. But there's also a lot of Indian, Sri Lankan, so young professionals are particularly attracted to those areas because they are quite high net worth areas. They seem to be a lot of buyers and a lot of so Anglo buyers as well. So it's a bit of a mixed, so it's a bit of a multicultural melting pot, really. But some areas might be more that might be more Chinese based, like your Epping, Chatswood on the North Shore, and Eastwood. It might be more Chinese based because there's a lot of shopping districts where they have a lot more Asian based shopping, a lot of Chinese restaurants like Chatswood, Epping, and Eastwood. So they may be more of a hub for people to buy. But it's widely spread. We're seeing all different nationalities buying in all different areas. But you'll find that in most of our offices, we will have Mandarin and Cantonese speaking agents, as well as Hindi speaking agents as well for the Indian buyers. But also there's English speaking agents obviously in every office as well.
那在这个区域，花园空间或者景观设计是加分项吗？有没有遇到过一些买家特别看重，比如说他花园是什么样的这样的例子？
Yes, definitely. Green space and outdoor garden space is highly desirable. We find that it adds a lot of value to properties when we're selling them. A well maintained and well manicured garden is definitely desirable. And this is across the board. And I think that a mixture of detailed garden, like sculpted garden, but also playing area for children is also highly desirable. And it's definitely adding a lot of value. So I think sometimes what people that when they're selling the property and they don't put any effort into their presenting their homes with beautiful gardens can leave money on the table, and can actually get a lesser price. So buyers these days definitely want to see the home well presented with beautiful gardens, flowering gardens, or manicured gardens with hedges. It's definitely something that people want to see when they're searching for homes.
你有没有亲身经历过啊？比如说哪个花园特别吸引人，这个买家就决定买下房子的这种情况？
Yes, I have. There was a property it's one of the area's most prestigious streets, and the garden was designed by a famous landscape designer called Peter Fudge. He's written many books and he has a large following. And this owner had his whole landscape design, front and back, designed by Peter Fudge. And it was actually one of the key features of the advertising that the garden was designed by Peter Fudge. And the photography was centered around the garden, and it became a focal point of the marketing. And it actually, we believe, was one of the triggers that we had so many people at the auction, both to view the garden, but also triggered so much spirited bidding. It achieved 400,000 over the reserve. And I think it definitely was a key part of the marketing campaign and achieved such a good result for the family. So it was a really good investment. And it was absolutely magnificent. I'll try and recall the address. So if you wanted to look it up online, I'll post some photos for you.
你就是从你的金融背景来看，你会把花园看作一种软的资产吗？能不能从投资的角度来谈谈你对花园价值的一个理解？
If I could put it down to it's an investment from day one. If you're buying a property and you're investing in the soil around your property, everything that you are adding into a garden, not just from the plants, but from the design point of view, it's growing day to day and it's adding to your property. So it's framing it in a sense. Advice from a professional of what to do, what plants to use, what shape to design around the house. So I think using a professional to actually give you the advice of not just what to plant, but where to plant it, what's going to grow with the right sunlight, and what design to use around the house that's going to complement the house, and what seasons it's going to grow in. I think it's definitely going to add to the overall value of your home, because when you come to sell it, it's going to be a mature garden. It's going to definitely complement the look and the feel of your house. And when buyers are coming into the house, you'll have a mature garden that has the right design, the right feel. It's all in the right proportions. It has play areas for the kids or play areas for the pets. And it's definitely an investment. There's no doubt about it. And I think if you're getting the right advice from a professional and not just doing it yourself, because not all of us have that knowledge. When I designed my house, when I was looking for advice, I went and got a landscape gardener. We took everything out of the garden. We started again. And we came up with a concept that was going to complement the house. It was going to have plants that would grow in the right sunlight. And 5 years on, it looks absolutely magnificent. And I know that when the day comes where I'm going to sell my property, it's going to look absolutely magnificent and buyers are going to be really attracted to it. So it's definitely the money that I spent was going to come back 10 times over when that day comes.
就如果一个房主打算在1年内卖房，但现在花园看起来很乱啊，你通常呢给他们一个什么样的实用的建议呢？比如说最省钱的改造方法是什么？
If you have a year, the first thing would be to engage a landscape designer or a landscaper straight away, because if you've got a year, you've got 2 good seasons to start preparing. So if you have a lawn area, you can start to fertilize and aerate to get the lawn area green. If you've got plants that are looking a little bit not so good, you can cut them back to try and get some more green growth. But I think if you've got a year's time before you have to sell, I think it's plenty of time. It's not never too late, I think, to start to prepare. But I think it's about engaging a professional. Probably if you're going to do it yourself, it's like we don't cut our own hair. So I think it's about speaking to a landscaper, getting the right advice, and starting the process of what you need to do. A year really gives you two good growing seasons in that year to trim back, start again, and start the pruning process. We use a lot of mulch in the garden beds. So mulch in the garden beds covers up a lot of sins in the garden beds where there could have been a lot of weeds. So pulling out all the undergrowth and mulching there, and then pruning and shaping the trees. And that can really give you but doing that right towards the end. So that should really give you a good base to work on, and pressure cleaning as well. So if you've got any hard surfaces, doing that right before the final sale campaign. But a year is really a good time. But again, speak to your local professional and get some advice on the timing of the year when you should be pruning, when you should be fertilizing, and that will give you a really good insight of how to maintain your garden and present it best for the market.
OK，感谢 Nico 的分享啊！今天呢，我们从房地产第一线听到这么多关于花园与房价的真实的观察啊，非常受启发。如果大家正在考虑卖房、买房，或者是翻新自家的院子，我相信今天的内容呢，一定对您有所帮助。